Yeah, good morning, guys. So let's continue with our the topic called taxation of non-resident. And till now we completed around 4 to 5 sections related to taxation of NR. And this lecture will completing a very important concept on this particular chapter, which we can expect in your coming examination. That is section 115C to 115I. This is section 115C to 115I. It's also called as Schedule 12A provisions. It's also called as Schedule 12A. I will give all the notes and all. You have to copy. I'll tell you when to copy. पहले concept समझ लो. What is the heading of this concept? Special provisions. Special provisions related to non-resident Indians. Related to non-resident Indians. This is the heading. Okay, special provisions to non-resident Indians. This is the heading of the section. Very important. Double star mark करो. पक्का एक क्वेश्चन आ सकता in your exam from this particular topic. It's a sum of around 10 sections that is given in Schedule 12A of the Act. We will be covering with logics. I will ask you to visualize something. Everything you will do it properly. You don't worry. Shall we start? The first point. This concept applies to whom? Answer is given under section 115C of the Act. This concept of Schedule 12A provisions applies to whom? This concept applies to non-resident. This concept applies to non-resident Indian or individual, you can say. He should be a non-resident plus an Indian citizen. Or non-resident individual plus person of Indian origin. This is to whom this section applies. Now I'll ask you to visualize. Please visualize it properly. One of my cousins, first cousin, mama बोलते my mother's brother, son, mama's son, that is my mother's brother's son. He is in Australia working for an Australian company. Working from last 10 years, he is in Australia only, working for an Australian company. He will be called a non-resident individual because he never visited India from the last 10 years. Plus, he is an Indian citizen. Till now, he did not get citizenship of Australia. He applied, did not get. Still, he holds Indian passport only. So, he will be called a non-resident individual. Why is he called non-resident? Because 6 subsection 1 condition he did not satisfy. He is neither in India for 182 days or more or 60 days plus 365 in last 4 years. That's why he is called non-resident. And plus, he is an Indian citizen. Even though he is staying in Australia, he has Indian passport. He did not get Australian citizenship till now. He is an Indian citizen only, holds Indian passport. My cousin will be called NRI because for my cousin this topic will apply. Or a non-resident individual, person of Indian origin, both either he, his parents or grandparents were born in undivided India before 15th August 1947. In layman terms, this section applies to those people who once were Indians or stayed in India, were born in India, but currently staying outside India either for employment purpose, job purpose, business purpose, education purpose. Currently they are outside. Either they are Indian citizen, they have Indian passport. Either they are born in India, their parents or grandparents in undivided India. But currently they are staying outside India. To them, these provisions of Schedule 12A will apply. To them, these provisions of Schedule 12A will apply. Clear. In your DT notes is given in page 457 to 458. Don't copy anything from there. Copy whatever I am giving in your screen right now. Okay. So this section applies to Kon sir, my relative, because he is staying in Australia. He is a non-resident. He still has Indian passport. He is an Indian citizen, or he is a person from Indian origin. So my relative is staying in Australia. What does he do then? What did he do? That is called nature of activity. So my relative kya kara? Who sir? My relative, what he did? He invested some money in India. He invested some money in India in foreign currency. वापिस बोलो सर क्या करा उन? My relative invested in India. I told him please purchase in Reliance shares, it will increase by 5 times. So invested in Reliance. Who? My relative. He invested in India in foreign currency in shares of Indian company. He invested kaha? Shares of an Indian company. That shares can be public company shares or private company shares, does not matter. Or he invested in government securities, National Savings Certificate, Kisan Vikas Patra, India Vikas Patra, and so on. Or he invested in deposits or debentures or bonds of public company. So what is he doing? He is currently staying in Australia, but is investing in India in foreign currency in these assets. Then for him, these provisions will apply. One more point. These are an optional scheme. Bolto, it's like composition scheme in GST. My relative can opt for this section or can opt for normal provisions of Income Tax Act. Once again, optional scheme ka logic samjho, then I'll continue. My relative in Australia is a non-resident, is an Indian citizen. He invested in these shares. He invested here. He has an option to avail this Schedule 12A or avail normal provisions of Income Tax Act. That option he has. What happens if he avails these provisions of Schedule 12A? That is what we are covering. Section applies to those people who once belonged to India or stayed in India or were Indian citizen but currently staying outside India either for employment purpose, job purpose, education purpose, business purpose, whatever purpose it might be, but from there they are investing in India. These are called in Income Tax Act as specified foreign exchange assets. These are called specified foreign exchange asset and the short form is SFEA. These three assets are called specified. Why specified? Because there are three assets only. Foreign. Why foreign? Because he is investing in foreign currency, and these are assets. That's why assets. First 2 points very clear. यहाँ तक copy करो. Slowly we'll start. I hope you have seen in movies also we say he's an NRI, NRI, NRI. NRI बोलते non-resident Indian or non-resident individual. Non-resident बोलते he does not stay in India. He does not satisfy 6(1) condition. That's why he is non-resident. One minute more sir, please अच्छे से कॉपी करो. ठीक है, कॉपी कर लिए. वन सेकेंड प्लीज विजुअलाइज विजुअलाइज विजुअलाइज. माई रिलेटिव studied BTech till here in India, went abroad for job Australia, currently in Australia for last 15 years. He is called NR, non-resident Indian. Yes, plus Indian citizen because he still has Indian passport. Yes, he is investing in India from Australia in India in foreign currency in three assets: shares of Indian company, securities of government, debentures, bonds and deposits of public company, and these assets are called specified foreign exchange assets. Now what is the tax rate to them? That is the next section we have to cover. Yahan tak clear? Sir, I am going very slow because I know how important this chapter, this topic is. Schedule 12A provisions we say. In the exam he will use the word schedule 12A provisions. Don't worry, schedule 12A बोल के देता है exam में. शेड्यूल 12 देता है, शेड्यूल 12 देता. डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. नाउ लेट्स कंटिन्यू. ठीक है, नाउ लिसन. थर्ड पॉइंट, we'll understand the tax implication in the hands of my relative. He is a non-resident Indian given under 115E. Section number you not remember for exam. I invested in, he is from Australia, he invested in Infosys shares. Shares are covered in specified foreign exchange asset. Yes. He got dividend income. It is exempt from tax under section 10 subsection 34. He invested in debentures bonds of public company and on that he got interest. He invested in debentures, deposits, bonds of public company and he got interest. That is called interest on SFEA, specified foreign exchange asset. It's a tax rate. It's a flat tax rate of 20%. It's a flat tax rate of 20%. My friend invested in shares of Infosys. He got dividend exempt. He sold the shares. Then he will get capital gain. That's called capital gain on sale of SFEA, specified foreign exchange assets. Now we check whether Infosys is a listed company or unlisted company. Listed or unlisted. If it is listed, again we check whether long term or short term. If it is Infosys shares he sold which are listed and he sold within 12 months, it is short term. It is tax rate of 15%, which we already know, and that is given under 111A section. 100 times I covered this topic. If it is listed and it is long term bolte more than 12 months you sold for, and then we bifurcate again. Capital gain less than or equal to 1 lakh, exempt. We already know this. And capital gain greater than 1 lakh, what's the rule? Excess of 1 lakh is taxable at the rate of 10% under section 112A, and I need not tell you there is no indexation concept to that particular section. No indexation, that we already know. If the Infosys shares are unlisted, long term, more than 24 months you sold after, tax rate will be 10%. Here also no indexation. Here also no indexation. What if it's unlisted and short term? That I'll tell you next 10 minutes. Next, my relative is in Australia. Capital gain on sale of asset other than SFEA. He owned a land in India. My relative who is in Australia owns a land. He sold the land. It does not come under these three assets. Land does not come under these three assets, but he sold a land and the land was in India. That is called capital gain on sale of asset, land other than SFEA, which does not covered in the SFEA list. He sold the land. On that, tax rate will be 20%, provided it is long term. What if it is short term? That also I will tell you. But if it is 20%, indexation is available. But after indexation benefit is available. Remember this rule once again. If the tax rate is 10% for capital gain, we don't give you indexation. If it is 20%, we'll give you indexation. ये rule याद रख लो, then you not forget the rule forever in your life. Any other income. My relative has a house property in India and he gave on rent basis. Any other income. My relative is running a kirana shop in India through an agent. Any other income. My relative has FD with SBI Bank in India. Any other income? समझ में आ रहा? Then for that it is slab rates. For that it is slab rates. That is slab rates. ये समझ में आया? देन थोड़ा डेप्थ में लेके जाता हूँ फिर. अब यहाँ सुनो. I did not cover, I covered long term here. I did not cover short term. Short term will come under any other income. Next. Capital gain on sale of this, unlisted if it is long term, unlisted if it is short term, comes under any other income. समझ में आ रहा? You do not fall in this, the first four categories, you go to another, any other income, and it is slab rates. It is slab rates. Clear this? So once again, let's repeat the point because I know how important this point is. We are covering section 115C to 115I. Together we have to cover that. All sum of sections is called schedule 12A sections. Applicable to NR, both to those people who once belonged to India, stayed in India, but now staying outside India for any reason, but they are investing from that country in India in foreign currency and deriving income from India. Then what is the tax consequences? We are covering that. ठीक है? यहाँ तक क्लियर? So please copy this. प्लीज अच्छे से कॉपी करो. नाउ हो गया। अब सुनो सर, लिसन, आई थोड़ा टेक यू इनटू डेप्थ नाउ, चुपचाप सुनते जाओ, मैं जैसा बोल रहा हूँ वैसा लिखते जाना। अब सुनो, इंटरेस्ट इज फ्लैट 20%, यहाँ लिखो एनी एक्सपेंसेस इंकर्ड, हियर ओनली आर राइटिंग अंडर इंटरेस्ट, यहाँ लिखो, हाँ यहाँ लिखो any expenses incurred to earn interest income is not allowed as deduction. Any expenses incurred to earn the interest income, interest in SFEA, is not allowed as deduction. अब यहाँ लिखना Chapter 6 से deduction are also not allowed from interest income. यहाँ लिखो second point in the chart only. Chapter 6 से deductions are also not allowed from interest income. बोलते हो my friend Australia relative who is in Australia, he got interest, he has to pay at 20%. He has ATC investment, will not give you, it's a flat 20%. Any expenses not allowed. Deduction under chapter 6 is also not allowed to him because he is not Indian. Simple. Expenses not allowed, deduction chapter 6 is not allowed. लिख लिए। Now listen. Capital gain के लिए लिखो here middle में लिख लेना chapter 6 से deductions not allowed. Chapter 6 से deductions not allowed. ठीक है। Second, expenses on transfer allowed. I hope as per the pro forma sale consideration minus expense on transfer, that is allowed because that act is only giving as per the pro forma. Expense on transfer is allowed. ठीक है। Same these 2 points what I told you, again you copy here for this particular heading, copy that. क्या लिखते वापिस, चैप्टर 6 से डिडक्शंस नॉट अलाउड फ्रॉम दिस इनकम, एक्सपेंस ट्रांसफर अलाउड, वापिस यहाँ लिखो। मैं जैसा बोल रहा हूँ वैसा लिखो सब प्लीज। चलो लिख लिए। एनी अदर इनकम, माई एग्जाम्पल वॉज रेंटल इनकम, माई एग्जाम्पल वॉज इंटरेस्ट इन FD, यहाँ लिखो एक्सपेंसेस इंकर्ड अलाउड, चैप्टर 6 से डिडक्शन ऑल्सो अलाउड, both are allowed. Basic exemption limit is also available from this slab rate. Slab rate बोलते हैं basic exemption limit. 3 points you have to write for any other income. Expenses allowed, deduction chapter 6 is also allowed, Bhelpur is also available for any other income. Looks very easy but in the exam ये chart पूरा दिमाग में बैठ जाना, then only it becomes easy. We'll do the problems also, don't worry. अभी आपको PL concept समझा दे रहा हूँ। ठीक है, चलो ठीक है। अब सुनो, सो 3 पॉइंट्स हो गए, लेट अस रिपीट वंस अगेन। फर्स्ट पॉइंट वाज दिस शेड्यूल 12 किसको अप्लाई होता, NRI नॉन रेसिडेंट इंडियन, आइदर शुड बी इंडियन सिटीजन और पर्सन ऑफ इंडियन ऑरिजिन। पर्सन बोलते हो आइदर ही और हिज पेरेंट्स और ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स शुड बी बॉर्न इन अनडिवाइडेड इंडिया। Then they are from Australia. My relative is investing in India in foreign currency in these three assets. These three are called SFEA, specified foreign exchange assets. Now how to calculate the tax liability? This is the tax rate applicable to my relative who is in Australia. ये पूरा चार्ट अच्छे से एक समरी चार्ट भी बना के दूंगा मैं आपको, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. ठीक है यहाँ तक? चलो ना लिसन, ना लिसन. थर्ड पॉइंट हो गया. अब फोर्थ पॉइंट लिसन. Listen the fourth point, please. Exemption available to NRIs, non-resident Indian, under 115F. Now listen. My relative sold shares of Infosys. He got money. If he got money, if he reinvest that money in these particular assets again, we will give you exemption from capital gains. It's like section 54 of Income Tax Act. 54 में क्या हो रहा? 54 में you are selling house property, you are buying house property. Under 115F, you are selling specified foreign exchange assets, shares of Infosys. With that money, I am buying another specified foreign exchange assets. I am buying shares of Reliance. I am selling shares of Infosys, getting money. From the money, I am buying the shares of Reliance. Then this section will apply. If NRI, my relative, sells SFEA, which should be long term, okay, that is shares of Infosys, and out of sale consideration, with that money, invest money, purchase in SFEA, another SFEA, shares of Reliance. I am selling shares of Infosys. With the money I am purchasing shares of Reliance. Within 6 months, this is the time limit from the date of transfer. AOE, amount of exemption under 115F, amount of exemption under 115F, same formula we have under 54F also. Long term capital gain or long term capital gain of what? From the sale of Infosys shares into amount invested in Reliance shares by net sale consideration. How do I get net sale consideration? That is sale consideration minus expenses on transfer as per the pro forma. Whichever is lower is exempt, and the balance capital gain only we have to pay the tax. So if my relative sells Infosys shares and within 6 months he buys another SFEA, he will get exemption from capital gains to the extent of lower of the following. Same logic. But what did he sell? Shares of Reliance. Sorry, shares of Infosys. What did he purchase? Shares of Reliance. He cannot sell shares of Reliance for 3 years. Same concept, 54, 54F, everywhere you have lock-in period, 3 years. However, the new SFEA, shares of Reliance, acquired, have a lock-in period of 3 years. Cannot be sold within 3 years. If sold within 3 years, I am parking the vehicle where it's clearly mentioned no parking. We are telling not to sell till you sold. Exemption claimed earlier under section 115F will be taxable in the year when you sold the shares of Reliance. It's a easy interpretation. I cannot give you. Is a easy interpretation. I cannot give you. I'm sorry, sir. I have given you the easiest interpretation possible relating to point number 4. चलो कॉपी करो ये. This is point number 4, please. कॉपी करो ये. हो गया सर? चलो ठीक है. Now listen. So 4 points are done. There are 8 to 9 points. Then we'll cover a summary chart. Then we'll cover 4-5 problems recently asked under schedule 12A. Exam में he will use the word schedule 12A. One more time बोल रहा हूँ. These are optional sections. My relative can opt for these sections or can opt for normal provisions of Income Tax Act. He has choice to opt for these sections 115C to 159 or opt for normal provision. That is his choice. Chalo, fifth point. Now before I go to fifth, I'll cover the sixth one now. Be careful. Sixth one, section number don't remember. Now the question is, okay sir, my friend sold Infosys shares, got certain income also, he paid the tax also, he is in Australia, should he file the return of income? Government says if he pays the tax, it's okay for us, no need for him to file the return of income. Third time we are covering no need to file the return of income. First was for Chris Gale 115 BBA, second 115 AC GDR. Third time we are covering no need to file return of income. NRI, my relative, non-resident Indian, is not required to file return of income if income consists of interest and capital gain from SFEA. बोलते he is getting income from only these three. बोले तो everyone on the screen, बोले तो he is earning income from first three trees only. That is called interest and capital gain on SFEA. This is other than SFEA, this is any other income. So if he has only the first three incomes, he need not file return of income from SFEA, and on that income TDS has been deducted. Then my friend or my relative who is in Australia, he need not file return of income if he has only incomes from SFEA asset, that is interest income or capital gain, that is first three trees, and on that income TDS has been deducted, he need not file the return of income. Same concept applies to Chris Gale also. Chris Gale also did not file return of income, which we covered under 115 BBA. My relative also is in Australia because government needs tax. They got tax through way of TDS. So will not trouble my relative and ask him to file from Australia and send the acknowledgement to Bangalore, all that nonsense, linking Aadhaar with PAN. Also concept of 139AA does not apply to my relative because 139AA does not apply to non-resident. Next, features. So ये point क्या बोलता? My relative need not file return of income if he is getting income from these three assets only, these three trees only, 1, 2, 3. If he has these two incomes also, then he has to file return of income. If he has only the first three incomes, then he need not file return of income provided TDS also has been deducted on such income. Features. No indexation benefit from sale of SFEA. So if he sells those SFEA 3 assets, indexation I will not give you even though long term. That is given as per 4th proviso to section 48. Go to your capital gain chapter, go to proviso to section 48. Under that 4th proviso, you will have a list of 11-12 points. Under this, you will have this point as one of the point. This is called linking. First proviso to section 48 applies. First proviso to 48 bole to relative will calculate his income in foreign currency first. Then we will convert that foreign currency into Indian currency through TTBR at the time of transfer. We covered this in first proviso. Average of TTBR, average of TTSR concepts we covered. So first proviso to section 148 applies to NRI. Also my relative will calculate his income in Australian dollars. Then he will convert from Australian dollars to Indian rupees. Income will be computed in foreign currency and then reconverted into INR. You can go to this section and check how is it done. We covered this also. Method of conversion also with few problems also be done. Next, deductions under chapter 6A is not available from interest and capital gain income of SFEA. Also from these three, there is no concept of deductions under chapter 6A. Any other income, that is this one, the fifth tree, normal provisions of the act shall apply. These are the features given under 115D. This is my relative Ray. Don't worry, you need not file return of income provided these two conditions are satisfied. Copy karo 6 points actual. Last 1 minute please. चलो अब सुनो, ठीक है, दैट टोटल 8 to 9 पॉइंट्स एंड समरी चार्ट आल्सो आई विल गिव यू। हो गया सर यहाँ तक? दिस या 6 पॉइंट्स डन, नाउ 2 more points coming your way. सुनो, listen, let me talk about the 8th point first, then I'll cover the 7th point. I already told you it is an optional scheme. Schedule 12A scheme is an optional scheme. You want to avail, you avail, don't avail, don't avail. It's an optional scheme. Section 115 to 159 are optional sections to NRI, non-resident Indians. You satisfy the condition of 115C. What is 115C? That is the first point. That is this one. You are NRI plus Indian citizen or NRI person of Indian origin. Yes, you are NRI and Indian citizen, and you invest in foreign country SFEA. Yes or no? Although you are not NRI, this schedule 12 provision will not apply to you. Normal provisions of act will apply. You are an NRI and you invested in foreign currency in these assets, then you have an option to avail for schedule 12 provisions, not to avail. You don't avail, normal provisions of the act will apply. Okay, and if you avail the 12A provisions, normal provisions act will not apply. So once again, my relative from Australia is a non-resident. He is investing in India in foreign currency in SFEA. He satisfies the condition. Yes, he has an option to avail these sections, not to avail these sections. To avail these sections, then normal provisions of the act will not apply to you. You don't avail these sections, normal provisions of the act will apply to you. You will copy this here. My relative does not satisfy these conditions only. Why? He is from Australia, he is an NR, he invested in assets in Indian rupees. Then the conditions are not satisfied, then chapter 12 provisions will not apply. Then what will apply? Normal provisions of the act only will apply. But ye wala dabba again you have to copy here also. And don't copy this, this is wrongly given. Don't give any arrow marks and all. Point 8. Point 7. My friend or my relative Australia, he decides to quit the job and settle in India. He is coming to India for permanent settlement. He said, Mera Bharat Mahan, I love my country. Enough, I stayed for 20 years, 15 years out in Australia. I don't want that. I want to come back to my country. The provisions of Schedule 12A will apply even if the NRI, my relative, becomes the resident in the current financial year. Bole to, if he stays in India for more than 1 2 days, still he can avail these provisions for the first year. But you have to inform the department that I have come from Australia to India and I will stay in India for permanent settlement. This is nothing great you have. You inform department and all, is some nonsense. Chhod do. This important point is, this is like compensation scheme under section 10 of CGST Act, under GST optional scheme. So my relative who is in Australia has two routes. Schedule 12A route, normal provisions of the act route. He can go to anyone. He goes to Schedule 12A route, normal provisions route will not apply. He will go to normal provisions route, Schedule 12A route will not apply. Am I clear with this? सर आपको डेप्थ में समझा रहा हूँ मैं अब. चलो कॉपी करो. Then I'll give the summary chart. Then we'll do the problems. Please copy करो. sir, please copy till here, and I'm giving you 5 more minutes to read all the 8 points. Then I'll cover the summary chart, how to remember for exam, and then we'll do the problems. This lecture will only focus on this section. This is not one section, 115C to 115I. A range of sections under a topic called Schedule 12A applies to those people who once stayed in India but now staying outside India for job, employment, business purpose, education purpose, but from there investing in India. They are Indian citizen, although they don't have the citizenship of the foreign country, they still have Indian passport, or if they still have, they have USA passport or Australian passport, they are person from Indian origin, that is either their parents or grandparents were born in undivided India. Very clear. पहले ये समझो ये कॉन्सेप्ट किसको अप्लाई होता, उसके बाद ऑल दैट यू कैन रिमेंबर फॉर एग्जाम. विजुअलाइज करो सर, दिस टॉपिक बिकम्स इजी. चल, half a minute more, we'll cover. Let me write this 8 points. I'll cover the summary chart, copy that, then I'll give you 5 minutes to read the entire concept before we start the problems. Exactly half minute more, complete करो ये. चलो जल्दी. Check mic testing, check. चलो सर 10 seconds more, जल्दी करो. ठीक है. चल, now please understand the summary chart of this, very very important. चुपचाप सुनो, then you copy, then I'll give you 10 minutes to copy this and also read all the points including the summary. Suno please. The summary chart on schedule और chapter 12A provision. शेड्यूल 12A बोल सकते हैं, चैप्टर 12A बोल सकते हैं, कुछ भी बोल दो आप. लिसन, इंटरेस्ट इनकम ऑन SFEA assets, फर्स्ट कैटेगरी. चुपचाप सुनते जाओ, डोंट कॉपी अंटिल आई कंप्लीट. लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन on sale of SFEA assets, long term capital gain on assets other than SFEA. I told you my relative has a land and any other income. Please don't copy, let me complete. Particulars. First, what is the tax rate on interest income? You can check it out, it is 20%. It's flat. On long-term capital gain on sale of SFEA, it is 10%. That too flat. Flat बोलते भेलपुरी नहीं मिलता. And on this it is 20%, and on this it is slab rates. बोलतो basic exemption limit is available. This also flat. Whatever you wrote in point number 3, uska more depth summary chart I am giving you. ठीक है. Next rule. Any expenses incurred, expenses from to earn interest income, not allowed. Any expense incurred for long term capital gain, allowed, allowed, allowed. Chapter 6A deductions, ATC to ATU from interest income not allowed, this not allowed, this not allowed, this is allowed. Indexation benefit. There is no concept of indexation on interest. On long term capital on sale, not allowed. This is allowed. Any other income, there is no concept there. ठीक है. Next, exemption अंडर 115F कब मिलता? यहाँ नहीं मिलता, यहाँ नहीं मिलता, यहाँ नहीं मिलता, यहाँ मिलता. When you sell SFEA, then you will get exemption provided you reinvest that money in SFEA within 6 months from the date of transfer. यहाँ मिलता. कितना मिलता? Long term, write the formula please. Please write the formula here. A or B, long term capital gain or long term capital gain into amount invested in SFEA by net sale consideration, which is lower. And remember, it's a lock in period of 3 years. That also we should know. So अगर ऐसा याद रहा, it becomes more easy for you to remember. 5 points है. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. ठीक है. चलो कॉपी कर लो ये. Now listen, one more you can add actually, just for my knowledge. Add one more tree. इसका opposite लिखना है यहाँ. That is, instead of long term, short term capital gain on sale of SFEA. Short term capital gain on sale of SFEA. लिख सकते, नको लिखो, कल भी कंफ्यूज नको. बट इफ इट्स लिस्टेड 1,811 will apply, वो याद रख लो, जरूरत नहीं. दिस इज फाइन, आई विल नॉट कंफ्यूज यू. दिस इज फाइन. कॉपी दिस. चल, प्लीज कॉपी दिस. ठीक है. यहाँ लिख लेना. refer once it's done. Refer question 14, page 147, module 2. We have to do these problems, we'll be doing now. Then refer question 6, page 140, module 2, and then refer question 23, page 171, module 2. These 3 problems we have to do, and 3-4 more problems also we have to do. पहले ये 3 कर लेंगे. चलो पहले कॉपी करो सर ये. Then write these also, these 3 refer problems, and then read it properly. Exactly 7 minutes में I'll start. Start please. Sir, I'm not wasting my time. I'm giving you time. Exactly 7 minutes में I'll start. ठीक है, चलो. Now listen, let us start doing the problem. Be very careful. Please be very careful. Let us start solving the problem. ठीक है, लिख लिए. This is done. I hope this should be done by now. Now let's start. Question 14 will start from page 147, module 2. Fine. Listen now. Come to your module. We are starting question number 14, page 147, and it's module 2 problem. It's a module 2. I'm opening the page. This is the question. Please read the problem. You already know I don't read the problem, but when I read, you should be attentive. So chupchap read karo. This is the problem. It was asked in May 2019, new syllabus for 6 marks, question number 14. Please keep the point number 3 in front of you. This chart in front of you before we start doing the problem. This chart. That is third point. Tax implication in the hands of NRI, section 115E. ये चार्ट सामने रखना है आपको, देन ओनली यू कैन सॉल्व दिस काइंड ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. ओके, चलो स्टार्ट डूइंग, स्टार्ट रीडिंग. चलो now listen, let me read the problem now. चुपचाप सुनो. He has a long term capital gain. Listen, compute the tax payable or refund due in accordance with the special provisions applicable to non-underlying special provisions. Schedule 12A provisions he is talking about. लिख लो यहाँ Schedule 12A. Special बोलते Schedule 12A provisions. Note down. Special provisions बोलते Schedule 12A provisions. Now let us start. Now listen. Long term capital gain from transfer of foreign exchange asset, that is nothing but SFEA. 6 lakh 50. Expenses on transfer, this is allowed, not allowed for capital gains? Allowed. So what is your net long term capital gain? Deduct करो. 6 lakh 50 minus 80,000, 5 lakh 70. चुपचाप मैं जो सा बोल रहा हूँ वैसा लिख लो, then I'll show it on the competition sheet also. Now listen, if you got capital gain, that is exempt if you reinvest that amount in SFEA within 6 months from the date of transfer. I sold on 31st July 19. Correct. What is 6 months to that? August, September, October, November, December, January. That is 31st January 2020. If I reinvest this amount on or before 31st January 2020, exemption under 115F is available. Long-term capital gains or long-term capital gain into amount invested by net sale consideration. Now come to savings and investment. These 2 points I link to these two. I sold, assuming foreign exchange asset is shares of Infosys, not given, I am assuming. I should reinvest in Reliance within 31st January 2020. I reinvested in shares of Indian Public Company, assuming Reliance, on December 2020. I should have reinvested before January 2020. I reinvested on December 2020. Exemption of 115F is not applicable. You can ignore this transaction. This also is invested on 30th March 2020. I should have invested on or before 31st January 2020. This is also 115F is not applicable. You can ignore the transaction. इतना depth समझ में आना पहले. That's the reason I ask you to read, so that when you read and when I interpret the problem, there should be a validation in reading the problem itself. यहाँ तक clear? Next, this is TDS given. That will take it at the end. TDS amount is given, unlike it is given. Less TDS will do. That's okay. Interest on deposits with private limited company. Interest on deposits with private limited company. First of all, SFEA అంటే ఏంటి? SFEA అంటే it should be deposits of public company, but you got interest from private company from deposits. Okay, so we'll come to this chart now. Tax implication. It is not interest on SFEA because SFEA lo it should be a public company and it should be interest on deposits. It's private. You go to any other income and it is slab rates. It is not interest on SFEA because SFEA should be deposits with public company. It's private. You go to any other income, it's slab rates. So this is slab rate income. Slab rate. We have to calculate slab rate income. Any other income, this is AOI. Next, interest on government securities. Does SFEA mein do we have government securities? Yes. And interest on government securities, it is covered here. That is called interest on SFEA. Tax rate is 20%. So this will come at 20%. Next, interest on deposit with public limited companies. First check whether it is SFEA. It is deposit from public company and interest will come under interest on SFEA. Interest on SFEA assets. First it should be SFEA, then we'll check the interest on SFEA. 20%. This also 20%. Flat. Next, dividend from domestic company. ARR dividend, it's exempt. It is exempt. This is how you read and interpret the problem. I can do without the chart also, sir, but I'll tell you how to interpret the problem and link with the chart what we prepared, so that it becomes easy for you to remember for exam point of view. ये पूरा लिख लो एक बार. I'll do it on the screen. The answer. This is only the work. This is only the writing in the problem. Nothing great I did. ठीक है. Now let's do it on the screen. Everyone on the screen, please. Don't copy. I'll give you time. परेशान नको करो सर मेरे को. I'll give you time to copy. सुनते जाओ. Nature of income. So nature of income. Heading will be computation of tax liability. क्या नाम है? मिस्टर सुमेध. For assessment year 2021. Nature of income, then income, then tax rates, and then the tax. First is long term capital gain on sale of SFEA. That is 5,70,000 net amount. Tax rate is 10%. Tax will be multiply karo 57,000. Confirm please. Next, interest on SFEA assets. उसमें the first one is on garment securities. Garment securities is SFEA only. Interest on garment securities 95,000 and the tax rate is 20%, will give you 19,000. Next one is deposits with public company is also SFEA 2,60,000, 20% 52,000. Next, dividend income exempt. Clear till here? यहाँ तक क्लियर. नेक्स्ट आता एनी अदर इनकम. एनी अदर इनकम में आता योर इंटरेस्ट ऑन डिपॉजिट्स विथ प्राइवेट कंपनी, because deposit should be only with public company. Interest on debentures, deposits, debentures, bonds of public company is only SFEA, not private. Interest on deposits कितना है वो? That is 5,90,000. उस पे स्लैब रेट्स लगता. उस पे क्या लगता? स्लैब रेट्स. कैसा करते देखो अब. 5,90,000 minus 5 lakhs into 20% plus 12,500, 30,500. Take the total of the tax now. This total 30,500 plus 52,000 plus 19,000 plus 57,000. 1,58,500. To that we will add cess at the rate of 4%. क्या हो रहा है यार? 6,340. Take the total 164,840. This is your tax. But the question may he gave TDS also, less TDS 1,83,000. So the problem is it's a refund. It's a refund of minus 183, 18,160, 18,160 refund. That's the answer. And what is the total of income also for my knowledge? 5,70,000 plus 95 plus 2,60,000 plus 5,90,000. 15,15,000 is the total of income. This will give you 6 marks. Okay, before you start noting down, please come to page 149 of module 2. Answer is given as 960, make as 160. There is a print typing mistake. Answer is 18,160. It's a typing mistake. Answer is refund. 160 करो उसको. ठीक है. Question में also he gave a link hint. Question में see the question now. Compute the balance tax payable or refund. It's a refund concept. 18,160. SEC will get the refund. But to get the refund, he has to file the return of income. No second thought about it. Remember that. Copy this. स्टार्ट करो कॉपी करना, चलो। ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट। अगर नहीं हो तो प्लीज पॉज द वीडियो एंड कंटिन्यू कॉपिंग सर। दिस कंप्लीट्स क्वेश्चन नंबर 14। नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज क्वेश्चन 6, पेज 140, मॉड्यूल 2। क्वेश्चन 6, पेज 140, मॉड्यूल 2। दिस इज द क्वेश्चन। There is a printing mistake. I'll tell you what is the printing mistake. Strike off this word here and write here long term capital gain as a heading down. यहाँ लिख strike off करो ये and take it is down. And again this 20,000 you write expenses incurred. Expenses incurred. ठीक है, strike off expense and long term capital gain heading down, and this is long term capital gain heading. Okay, so that is not aligned properly. And the question is, compute the tax payable by Ajay if he opts for the provisions of chapter 12A of the Income Tax Act. He is a non-resident Indian. Ajay, my relative from Australia. ठीक है, read the problem, then I will interpret and I will do it on the screen. ये 20,000 के अगेंस्ट लिखना एक्सपेंसेस इंकर्ड, एंड ये कॉस्ट के ऊपर लिखना हेडिंग लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन। एक्सपेंस इंकर्ड टू अर्न इंटरेस्ट इनकम, ऐसा लिखो, एक्सपेंसेस इंकर्ड टू अर्न इंटरेस्ट इनकम 20,000, नेट इनकम इज 80, देन उसके नीचे लॉन्ग टर्म कैपिटल गेन हेडिंग एंड देन कॉपी दैट।
चल now listen. It's an house property income. It is any other income. Dividend income is exempt. Interest income is 1 lakh. Expenses 20. Net income 80. I will take 1 lakh. Any expenses for interest is not allowed. So this 20,000 we will ignore. We'll take 1 lakh. It's a long term capital gain of 1,94,000. It is long term capital asset, even though long term no indexation, and this is taxed at 10%. This is sale consideration, this is expenses on transfer, this is cost of acquisition. Sale consideration is 6 lakhs, expense on transfer 6,000, 5,94,000, less cost 4 lakhs, 5,94,000 minus 4 lakhs gives you 1,94,000. That's how you interpret this sentence or statement like this. Now we have to calculate the tax liability. Very simple problem, nothing extra is given, so we can solve directly. First is interest income. Headings will remain the same. Heading copy कर लेना and वो भी copy कर लेना. What we did in the previous problem. क्या करे थे वो? ये वाला ये हेडिंग कॉपी कर लेना. दिस हेडिंग्स ऑल्सो यू कॉपी. हाँ, कितना इनकम है? इंटरेस्ट इनकम 1 lakh we will take, not 80,000. It's flat rate of 20%. It is 20,000. Next, long term capital gain 1,94,000. It is flat 10%, 19,400. Next, dividend income exempt. Any other income, may you have house property income, that is 1,80,000. And the word is given computed. Computed बोले तो you will copy the heading of the previous problem with the name change Ajay. These headings also will copy from the previous problem. House property slab rates and 0, because up to 2,50,000 you will get the Bhelpuri concept. So 0. So total will, why 0? Because it's less than Bhelpuri. Total is 39,400. On that I will add cess at the rate of 4%. Kitata 39,400 plus 4% cess. Total will give you 40,976. बोल तो सेस कितना होता? 1576. This is your tax liability. And your income will be 2,94,000 plus 180, 4,74,000. Sure. Simple. हो गया. क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 बुस्सो हो गया. बुस्सो हो गया. चलो कॉपी कर. हो गया. चलो. Now please come to page 171, question number 23, module 2. Question number 23, page 171, module 2. This is the question. Please, I'll first change few questions because that are not relevant to what I want to cover. So एक काम करेंगे, अपन क्वेश्चन को चेंज करेंगे. Do the changes what I am doing. Make this as 1/1/2019. This also as 31st March 2019. Wherever you have 2018, make it as 19. बाबा होता ही 3 यहाँ भी 19. So 4 places में you have to change the dates. Wherever you have 2018 in the problem, make as 2019. उत्तेज करो तो कुछ ग्रेट नहीं बोल रहा मैं आप लोग करने को. ठीक है. चल, read the problem. I'll be doing. Don't read the answer, sir, because I've changed the dates, or answer will not be matching with what I'm covering, but concepts will remain the same. Years will change automatically. Question को पढ़ो जल्दी एक बार. Then I'll explain the logic and everything with of the problem. ठीक है, पढ़ लिए क्वेश्चन को. Now let me interpret the problem. Be careful, everyone on the screen. Now listen. Question number 23, page number 171, module 2. सुनो सर, पहले डायग्राम उतारने दो मेरे को, then I'll solve. Okay. There is one fellow called Rameswaram, my relative from Australia. He purchased shares worth 10 lakhs on 1/1/2009 in foreign currency. He purchased shares in foreign currency. ठीक है. And this fellow is a NRI, non-resident Indian, given in the problem. Was staying in Australia. In 2009 he purchased from Infosys shares, कोई कंपनी का, X Limited, XYZ Limited. What he did then? He sold those shares. I told you to change the date. He sold on 1/1/2019 for 30 lakhs. Sold the shares on 1/1/2019 for 30 lakhs. Clear? With this 30 lakhs, he reinvested in shares of ABC Limited. He sold shares of XYZ Limited like Infosys shares, and he purchased Reliance shares, ABC Limited shares of 30 lakhs on 31st March 19. He should reinvest within 6 months. Yes, he reinvested within 6 months. Then you will get exemption under 115F. यहाँ तक story clear? Now, so let's start the problem. Financial year 18-19, assessment year 19-20. sale of shares of XYZ Limited. Sale of shares of XYZ Limited. Sale consideration 30 lakhs. What is period of holding? 1/1/2009. This is period of holding for XYZ Limited shares. Shares of XYZ Limited का period of holding 1/1/2009 to 31st December 18, 1 day minus, definitely long term. So it's long term. Even though long term, there is no indexation, so we don't take index cost, we only take the cost. Okay, so that is, and for this Rameshwaram, this chapter 12A provisions is applicable, is what ICI assumed. He opts for chapter 12A provisions. So cost will be 10 lakhs. Deduct 20 lakhs is your long term capital gain. But you reinvested that amount within 6 months, so you will get exemption. Under section 115F, you will write both the points, the formula. One is long term capital gain 20 lakhs, and you will write the formula here, dot 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 dot, long term capital gain 20 lakhs into amount invested. Amount invested is 30 lakhs by net sale consideration is 30 lakhs. This is net sale consideration only because there is no expenses on transfer. So you will get 20 lakhs. Whichever is lower is 20 lakhs. So taxable capital gain is 0. यहाँ तक क्लियर. यहाँ तक क्लियर. But one rule, when you reinvest in it, should has a lock-in period of 3 years. Although you cannot sell the shares of ABC Limited for 3 years, but in the problem you sold ABC Limited shares on 36/2019 for 35.5 lakhs. You have violated the point of 115F exemption, which says it should not be sold within 3 years, but you sold within 3 years. Then I'll tell you what happens. यहाँ तक story clear. Read the problem once again now. चलो. Read the problem once again now. चलो. I can assume that ABC shares are listed shares. You can assume ABC are listed, no problem. Unless it be assume कर सकते. पहले क्वेश्चन एक बार पढ़ो. ये फॉर्मूला लिखना है. 115F में जाओ पॉइंट में एंड यू रोट 2 points there. That point you have to write and then substitute the values. Answer is not yet done. ठीक है. नाउ डोंट कॉपी, आई विल गिव यू टाइम. ये अभी तक एक ही सेल हुआ और एक सेल करेंगे अब इसको. दैट इज सेल ऑफ शेयर्स ऑफ ABC Limited. That is happening in financial year 1920, assessment year 2021. When did you purchase the shares of ABC Limited? You purchased on 31st March 19. You're selling on 30th June, 1 day minus 29th June 19. Definitely a short-term capital asset. Sale consideration is 35.5. You purchased it for 30. Very simple. It's a short-term capital gain of rupees in lakhs, 5.5 lakhs. And if I assume ABC is a listed shares, assume karu, if it is listed shares, then this will be taxed at the rate of 15% under section 11A1A. This is first point. Second point, you must have not sold, so you have to explain 115F provision in exam. That is, you have to explain this, sir. You have to copy it right now. Once again, ये वाला. That is, ये वाला कौन सा है मालूम वो? हाँ, ये कहाँ गया रे? हाँ. Point number 4. What you copied in this schedule 12, ये वाला. This is point number 4. We copied, no? This you have to copy. This pura right now in the answer. Right now in the answer you have to copy this here, ये वाला. So exemption कितना आया था last year? Exemption of 20 lakhs था, 30 lakhs था रे, कितना था रे? Exemption कितना आया था? 20 lakhs. Exemption of 20 lakhs will be taxable because you sold within 3 years, and this 20 lakhs will be called long term capital gain. So your income from capital gain will be 5.5 plus 20, 25.5 lakhs in the year 1920, assessment year 2021. ये इतना depth you can do only if you have a grip on the topic. If you have only overview of the topic, you cannot solve these kind of problems in the exam. You should swim in the ocean without life jacket. I will come to save you. Then only you can answer these type of questions. Just for 4 marks, beautiful question. कॉपी कर लो. ठीक है, यहाँ तक कॉपी कर लिए। ठीक है, done till here. I hope you have copied this. Long term capital gain or long term capital gain into amount invested in new asset divided by net sale consideration, that is also 20 lakhs, which is lower is 20 lakhs, net capital gain is 0. This taxable long term capital gain, this is long term, 0 taxable, no tax on it now. ठीक है, यहाँ तक हो गया तो नाउ कॉपी दिस प्लीज। Okay, sir. So this completes a very important topic, that is chapter or schedule 12A, provisions of Income Tax Act 1961 from section 115C to 115I, with the provisions we covered, a summary chart was covered, and 3 problems also were covered. Okay, so the other topics on taxation of NR will be taken in the next videos and all. So this is a very important chapter, a very important concept under taxation of non-resident chapter, which you can expect whether from old syllabus or a new syllabus, does not matter. Very important topic. Okay, see you, have a nice day, in the next lecture. Thank you so much, keep smiling.